guys, welcome to our October podcast of Between the Pipes. We are your hosts. I am Cam, and you are?
Chad Schneider.
Cam and Chad. Many of you may not know, but many individuals play an important role in keeping broomball alive in Canada. They're also the ones responsible for keeping broomball recognized as a national sport organization in Canada. This essentially means we get money from the government to help us keep the sport growing, and there's a lot of this behind the scenes that makes that happen. Tonight we get to talk to two of the people that do that work behind the scenes for Broomball Canada. Who we got meeting us here tonight, Chad?
Well, first off, we've got Mr. Broomball, George Brown. He has been in the sport for ages and has Broomball Canada's president for several years now. And then we have Pascal Gaucher. She's been the high performance director at Broomball for Broomball Canada for over 10 years now and has done a lot for broomball, trying to get us into the Winter Games and make it an Olympic sport. She's done quite a bit.
Perfect. Let's get them all going here. Guys, how's it going?
All good here.
Perfect. Pascal,
Awesome.
How you feeling?
Good, and you?
Not so bad. All right, let's hop right into it. Chad, you got a question
All right.
for anybody?
Yes. So the way this kind of goes, you guys, I don't know if I'm sure you've watched a few, but we get to ask you guys some questions and we'll take turns asking you, each one of you guys, the same question, give you guys some chances to answer, and then we kind of rib you a little bit on your answers. So we'll start off first. We'll start off ladies first. Pascal, we'll start with you. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into the broomball world and what makes you love it so much.
First of all, I just want to say that I love your podcasts, both of you. Thank you very much for doing so, and it's very interesting every month when we get to see you too and the invites. And thank you very much for that. Who am I? Pascal Gauthier. I'm from Repentigny, Quebec, and I used to be a diving coach, a diving athlete, and a diving coach, and then I moved on to work at CAC, Coaching Association of Canada, and that's how I got to meet people from 15 different sports, one of them being broomball, and I got to meet George, and that's how we got to become friends and known each other. And then he offered me and he pushed for me to become one of the heritage sport part of broomball. There's 5 Canadian sport. One of them is broomball, and that's how Heritage Canada was giving more money to all the sports, the Canadian-born sports, and that's how they hired me. So I've been in broomball for the past 13 years. That's who I am.
That's a lot.
Very cool.
It's definitely a lot. So I know that's quite a bit. 13 is a big number, but I'm afraid George, I think's got you beat just by a little bit. But
I think
we'll let George tell his story. So George, please, if you could.
Okay, I'll try. And as Pascal said, thank you very much for doing this. I really enjoy them, and I know other people I've spoken to really enjoy them as well. So anyway, I was born and raised in Almonte, Ontario in way back when. I'll just leave it at that. I'm married to Ruth for 46 years, and we've lived in Carleton Place since 1977. We have 2 children, 5 grandchildren. As we like to say, we're retired to the golf course in the summer and to the arenas in the winter. I always said when you retire, you have to have something to retire to, and we fulfilled that. So we don't have any gaps. So, but it's been fun. As far as getting started in broomball, I joined the Almonte Men's League back in 1967. I would think perhaps you guys weren't born.
No, I was barely a twinkle in my father's eye.
So
I was 3.
Pardon me?
I was 3 years old.
Okay. Anyway, I joined that league, and prior to that, it was a men's league, and there weren't very many younger people involved, like teenagers, and I was probably one of the early ones to break into it. But I used to help out running the clock and doing the scoreboard and stuff like that. And but in '73, we lost the arena roof in '72. In '73, they rebuilt it, and I called a meeting just to start it up again. And the older guys in the league said, "Well, you should run it because it was your idea to get going again." And I thought it was just great. I think I really got sucked in, but anyway, but that's kind of started me off in the organizing end of it, and fell in love with it. And we're now into, since that time, 48 years of organizing and tournaments, and we've done, over the years, we've figured out about 120 tournaments, all different levels, from local right through to national, worlds, you name it. It's just been a journey of fun. So all good.
That that's pretty wild. I can imagine. You've seen all the ups and downs of broomball then, 'cause I remember hearing stories from my dad about how big giant tournaments used to be, and I can't imagine having seen 48 years of broomball. It's that's insane. I'll get there someday.
Organizing for 48, I've been 53.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
involved for
started
50.
in '67 or something like that. So
That's
we've been around, kicking around for a little while.
wild, wild. I'll continue here with a question for you, George. I know the CBF stands for Canadian Broomball Federation. That's about all I know about the CBF. I think you guys organize this too, but I really, other than that, I don't know much about what goes on behind the scenes. So, who is part of the CBF, and how are the other provinces and territories involved?
Well, east to west, Newfoundland, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, they're kind of a dual entity today. Quebec, Ontario, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta, and Northwest Territories. They all have members on the CBF board. They all have a voice. They all have a vote in how things are operated. I'd just be one who oversees.
Do you, as the president, you get a vote as well too?
Only if it's a tie.
Oh, okay, cool.
Right on.
Has it always been those provinces and territories, or have others come in and come out, or that's just that's who's been in it forever?
Every now and again, we've had some interest from the Yukon. Pretty much, I think that's pretty much what it is. I don't think I'm missing any, Pascal.
BC?
Oh, British Columbia, I'm sorry. Yes, BC. Oh, I can't even remember when we lost them, but they were in and out as well, so.
And I mean, the Canadian Armed Forces used to send a team to nationals too, correct?
Exactly, you're
Yeah.
correct. You're correct.
Yeah, and they no longer do that, but awesome. Okay, so explain to us what your role at the Canadian Broomball Federation is. We'll start with you, George, because I started with Pascal last time. So
I'm the president, and I guess I preside over and help guide all the province territories, and I also sit on the board of directors with the International Federation of Broomball Association, representing Canada. I guess I'm supposed to help drive the bus.
okay, awesome. And there was another reason why I started with you, because I figured your answer would be a heck of a lot shorter than Pascal's, because now it's Pascal's turn, and you may as well cozy up to the screen a little bit. We're going to be here for a little bit, but that's a good thing. So
just blow a whistle when she's done, and I'll join in after that.
hey, so same question to you, Pascal, and please do not hold anything back. Explain to us what your role at the Canadian Broomball Federation is, and how much you enjoy it.
I love it. That's the first thing. And second, I started as the coordinator, youth development coordinator. And that was more for the under 16 years old to develop broomball into this part of the Canadian population. And I did that for 7 years. But during that time, I developed all kinds of programs for the youth and went to Aboriginal tours and all kinds of stuff. That's the first. And then I became more of a high performance director. And that's because Sport Canada asked us to develop a high performance program, which I will talk later on. But and then for the past 2 years, we hired two coordinator for marketing and development. One has left, but one's left, and it's Veronique who takes care of you guys for the podcast and all that stuff about marketing. And she's doing an amazing job, and I oversees what she does or give her pointers on stuff, what she does. That's mainly what I do, but I just love meeting all of you, and you've become my second family. So
Very
that's
cool. I love that answer. Also, yeah, a good shout out to Vero for always putting this together. She makes it nice and easy for me and Chad. She just sends
Very
us
easy.
the questions. We have to read a paper and smile, and that's about it. So it's fantastic. But let's touch back on that high performance program, Pascal. I have no idea what it is. I honestly don't know what it means or what it is. Can you tell us and everybody in Canada what the heck it is?
okay. 7 years ago, Sport Canada put forward that if we want to keep our funding, we needed to have a high performance program, which meant that we had national teams and we would do international competition, and which we were doing in the past, but we added to make it more official. And so 7 years ago, I started to put together that program, and that was a long process. And Sport Canada wouldn't, they didn't go easy on us. It took a good year to be finally approved, which was one of my biggest, most happiest moment in my broomball career right now, when we got accepted, because it's a big deal. They have all kinds of steps. So basically what it is, the high performance program is to develop coaches and athletes to become national team athletes. How we proceed in broomball is totally different than other sports, because we don't have national national training centers and stuff like that. We had to find a way to select national teams. And the easiest way was to to make more sense, the solution was to have the winners of the national senior and mixed nationals to become national team. That was mainly what it is.
And so how is that going to be different this year? I mean, is there still a national team even though there wasn't a nationals last year? Or?
Good question, Cam. Even though I knew you were going to ask that question, but
I was trying to make it look like I wasn't reading a paper here. But
it worked. So yeah, for last year, it's been 2 years that we don't have national teams, nationals. So we couldn't figure it out. So the first year of the COVID that we didn't have nationals, we took the same national teams from the year before. So the winner of the year before, of 2019. Yeah. So they kept their title as national teams. So we have different to most of the other sport. Now it's getting more common, but we have 3 national teams, 1 mix, 1 female, and 1 male. So we have 3 national teams. So we kept the same one, but in January 2020, I offered to the executive to make a change a little bit because we didn't have nationals, that we can, go in and ask some of the athletes from, I didn't know at that time how we would do it, but to make a difference for the year as national team. But we didn't. The executive said no. We'll go with the past year national teams. But in January 21, I offered again, and they agreed. We didn't want to have 3 years in a row with the past national team. So we went around and we said that everyone that was registered to go to nationals in 2021 would be invited. 3 or 4 athletes in each of the teams would be invited to the training camp to become national team for a special year. So we have teams from Newfoundland, Ontario, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Quebec, Saskatchewan, Manitoba. And we offered it to Alberta, but they didn't come in. They didn't want to join in with that. So for this year, 3 or 4 athletes in each of those teams were selected, and they are now our national teams, which you will see sooner than later in a post from Veronique that will put on our Facebook page each of the athletes of this special year of national team. Is that clear, or am I?
Yeah, it's clear. Just the only rumors I had heard at that point was that national team was then going to compete at nationals together. This mixed team was all going to compete together, and I was trying to tell them, like, no, that's not how it works. It's just for
this special year was more to let people figure out what it is, national team, and what it involves. It involves that they have to, each week they have to report. And on that point, Chad, congrats this week. You did good.
Yeah, 1 week out of how many already? I should remember to do it on Monday.
They have to report on a special website that we came up for monitoring of all the athletes on national teams. Each week they have to come in and put the number of hours they did, the on the ice, off ice, and how they felt this week and all that stuff. So that's one thing they have. It's called the Broomball National Team Follow-Up site. So they go in, it's an app on their phone, and they put the hours and they put their comment, and each week they have to report on this, and the coaches have access to their answers. And that's one request that Sport Canada was asking us to do. So Chad is now this year on the mixed team. He's a coach on the mixed national team.
Yeah. So in theory, it's supposed to, us as a national body, and I'm going to say us because I'm a part of the national team with George and Pascal, was to give teams in other provinces a taste of what it's like to be a national team representative. For those, who are interested in it, want to know what takes place, what things need to be done if you actually win nationals and you become a national team representative. Like, you have to do off-ice training. There's other things throughout the summer that you need to complete, and there's things like this. So it gives everyone a chance to understand how important or how much extra goes into being on Team Canada as a national team. And hopefully with that, we were hoping that, comes great competition. People want to be that team. People want to compete more. They want to do that extra to get it out of it. That's what we were looking at. So, and hopefully it's going to help. We really do. So thank you.
And your first question, Cam, was more about if they will compete at nationals as a national team. No, they won't. Their mandate or the national team title was from May until the first day of the nationals. So they can in April. When we go to nationals, the national teams is out. So we will go back to our old way to select the national team. So they don't have to compete as a national team in the nationals.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Loud and clear.
George, you got anything to add to that?
No, just you summed it up very well, and it gives everyone a little bit of a taste, creates an awareness. I mean, of late, the last number of years, it's either been Ontario or Quebec were the national team, and the other provinces maybe thought they knew what it was, but really didn't. It gives them an opportunity, creates some awareness and understanding. And I think they'll respect what it is more so because of it.
What do you take it as out of it, Chad, right now? What do you?
Like being a part of it right now, I'm not doing so well at the whole checking in piece. But I mean, a lot of us right now, we're not in broomball mode. We haven't started anything. The mixed league actually just started last week, Sunday. So now we're getting into it. And that's kind of maybe why I got ramped up on Monday, because we had broomball on Sunday and I was excited, and we're going to move forward now. So I'm hoping that, you know, as the year goes on now, it's going to be great. But I mean, between what I had going on with me, like with work and harvest and a bunch of other things that were going on, broomball was like down here. And I hate saying that because I love broomball and I'm all about broomball. It's just I wasn't quite ready to move forward with broomball quite yet. It wasn't that time of year for me, but now it is. So let's hopefully I'll do better moving forward.
Can I just add something?
Yeah.
Thank you, Chad, and I know it's hard to get back to it, but some on the national teams right now are really taking it seriously and taking it to the T. They're doing the physical testing on their own. They're doing the Zoom that we're doing, and that they take it seriously and they go back and move some of their training to do it. And I should add to the national teams this year, we offered to include the gold medal and the silver medal of the juvenile national championships into this. So to give them a look, to look forward and say, hey, I want to be part of national teams. So 4 athletes in each juvenile gold and silver medalist at the last nationals that we had juvenile would be invited into it. The only team that accepted to come in was the silver medalists on the juvenile and female in the Timis. These are the 4 that are part of it, and they are taking it very seriously, and it's fun, and it's fun to talk to all the coaches that are coming in. I used to get all the same coaches over and over because these are the ones who were making national teams in the past, but now I have all kinds of new ideas and comments coming from all those coaches. I talk too much.
Well, I told everyone to pull up the chair. It was going to be a while, and that's fine. That's what it's for. So.
I've been watching the clock here. I think she's going on 20 minutes just on that one question. But
all right, well, we'll go back to Pascal again because honestly we haven't had enough. Honestly, we haven't had enough. So, can you briefly explain to us what other programs the CBF have got going on? And
I'll go quick, but it's now Veronique that takes care of that. But Lace to the Top. Lace to the Top program is the basic abilities or basic movement of broomball explained into this and offered in elementary schools. We used to have tags to put on the shoes, but now it's a new thing. It's a new thing. You haven't seen this. No one has seen this yet. We have laces. It's called laces to the top, lace to the top. So we have laces to put in there. So that's one thing. It's for the youth program. And we're looking into having a second part of it, which will include more strategies and
Oh, there it is.
and we will make it better. And Veronique has that under her belt. We also had the LTD, which is the long-term athlete development model. So we have all kinds of stuff in there that can help any coaches or any athlete that wants to know where to be at what point in their career as athlete. We also have the special initiatives every year. If you want to apply, you have something special that you want to develop as broomball for your community, you send us a registration or an email, and you send Veronique an email and say, I have this special this year. I want to make sure we have some funding. We have some equipment that we can send you free.
Okay, awesome. And then you can find all of that on the website. Is that where you can get all the information for everyone watching? We can go to the website to get all that?
Yeah, or the Instagram or Facebook page.
There
But
you go.
the website is still being built right now. So
Okay, very cool. Pascal, I think we'll let you take a break there. Maybe grab a glass of water. That's a lot of talking going on there. George, are you ready to open your mouth?
Oh, sorry.
You're still awake there.
Just kidding, Pascal,
We're just teasing. That being said, though, George, this is a question that is very near and dear to my heart, being a coach of 2 juvenile teams that want to go to nationals, and also being the co-chair for the juvenile nationals this year. What do we have for updates for the senior and juvenile nationals? You got anything for us?
Not a lot. Other than our intention is to, pardon me?
help me.
Oh, help you. No. Oh, you don't want a 2-word answer. Okay. No, our intention is we're still going to go ahead with the juveniles in Cornwall and the seniors in Saskatoon, providing that health across the country will allow us to do so. That's our only roadblock, is where COVID, what street that's going to take us down. The intention is, yes, we do want to do this, but we can only do it if it can be done in a healthy manner.
That's good. Yeah, I'm hoping it all goes well. I mean, we seem to be moving in the right direction. I got my first tournament this weekend in 2 years, and then I see the borders have opened up down to the States, so we're ready to go to the Can-Am tournament there. So the more tournaments we get going, the better.
No, we are stepping in the right direction, but handle with kid gloves. If people let their guard down, we're going to be in trouble again. We just have to do what is required of us.
Are there any changes that are being made as far as the way it's all played out? Is it still going to be contact and stuff like that? Or is there any COVID specific rules that are going to be put in place that you guys have thought of? Or
none that I'm aware of. We want the game the way the game is to be played.
That's the right answer, George.
You agree, Chad?
Yeah, I agree 100%. Like I said, the only thing with the senior nationals in the venue that we got it booked in, it is you have one choice. You need to be fully vaccinated or nothing. So that's something that is coming down from the venue that we're at. It's part of the U of S, the University of Saskatchewan, and that is their rules. Like there's no such thing as a negative test for them. It's either fully vaxxed to enter or you're not allowed to enter at all.
Yeah, and that's the same rule for all the Ontario arenas. So
Yeah.
all of our leagues right now. I mean, I know Ontario Broomball put out a rule that you had to be fully vaccinated, but it's already a rule across Ontario for any arena for anybody over the age of 12 now. So
So yeah, that's honestly, we're looking forward to it. I actually was worried that they might, because the center we're going in is supposed to be a field hospital, right? Backup field hospital, but they've already stated that in the state that we're in right now, there will be no need for a field hospital because you can't really set up an ICU bed in a field hospital. So that's where we're sitting at right now. But so the venue's good, it's booked, our hotels are booked, everything's awesome for Saskatoon for seniors. So we are looking forward to going as long as nothing changes and the government doesn't put down some more mandates or anything that we have to now stop playing. So, but anyway, with that being said, George, where do you see Broomball in a decade? Are you think it's still going to be kicking strong, hard? Like, are you still going to be involved?
Wheel me in.
Right on.
Yeah. I've been answering this question for 30 years. This is not a new question. This is, and hopefully we'll still be going strong in another 10. I hope. We just don't know, but there are many more recreation opportunities out there today. One of the things I find is almost most logical is, I'll go back to when I started. The families back then had 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 kids, and everybody had a baseball bat and a glove, and you dragged it with you, and then it evolved into hockey and broomball and such. Just the numbers of available participants was crazy in comparison today. What's the average family? Couple kids? And we're in an electronics thumb world. How much of that takes up how much time? We're not the only sport. I played a lot of touch football, ran touch football leagues, ran fastball leagues. Do you see any touch football anymore?
Not that I know.
Do you see any very limited fastball? We've got the two towns I'm closest to, Carleton Place, Alma, both have very nice baseball diamonds that rarely get used. It's a different world. Hockey is king, no question. Hockey is king, and if you're really going to pursue a sport, you're going to pursue a sport. Pursue a sport that might lead you to a scholarship. We don't have scholarships in broomball. You're not going to get paid for playing broomball unless you win this tournament this weekend, Cam. that'll be your reward. But,
yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, but it's all of those, and I also looked at, and have for years looked at, the back way. I'm going to go back where I know. Back in the late 60s and or maybe early 70s, not everybody went to continued education. A lot of the vast number just walked out of school and went to a job. Then it became everybody had to have a certificate. Everybody had to be university, college educated. And back when it really started in our area, you went to Ottawa. Today, the kids of today, to go into university, they're all across the country. And in many cases, they don't come back home. So your numbers just in that alone, there's a reason for it. If you look at it, break it down. I mean, this is my philosophy. I could be full of horse manure, but that's my philosophy. That's how I look at it. And I'm trying to justify why isn't there as much broom ball? Why isn't there as much touch football? Why isn't there as much fastball? Those are sports that they're not money sports. They're not going to give you scholarships, that type of thing. Well, maybe you can get a softball scholarship in the States for women. That's true, you can. But
They're farming sports is the way I look at it. Rural farming sports, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah. Very much rural. Yeah, you're right. You can't deny it. All we can do is the more effort we put into it, we still have a chance. We're still here. Fastball, very little. Touch football, very little. We're still surviving. It's tough grind sometimes, but it can be rewarding.
Yeah,
Awesome.
it's I'm hoping to see it grow a bit more. I feel now that the leagues here around here have started more. I've seen a lot of people who have quit broomball that didn't do anything last year have actually gotten back into it. Like in my Russell League here, there's like 5 guys who haven't played broomball for over 5 years. That with this COVID, they weren't doing anything. They're like, wow, I really got to get back in shape, and they're starting broomball again, which is nice. So we did lose some to COVID, but I see a lot more have come back, which is cool as well.
Good to see. Good to see.
Pascal, you got anything on that?
Yeah, I was gonna say, can I say something?
Always.
Yeah. What do I see? Where do I see broomball being in 10 years? Part of Canada Games. It will be a second tryout for not the 2027, but 2031. There'll be another Canada Games. So we were hoping to be part of the 2027 in Yukon Canada Games, but I don't think we didn't make it. It's too bad. I did work really hard at it, but didn't work. But we will. I was thinking that maybe we could do our own Yukon kind of festival or Canada Games. Have all the youth under 21 to go and compete, the best team in each of the province and territory to meet in Yukon that year in 2027. We'll see. Anyway, and where do I see broomball? Well, I always thought that broomball could be an Olympic sport. I don't know in 10 years if it will happen, but we need more numbers. We need more countries to come in and play broomball if we want to be competitive as a sport to become an Olympic sport. But I think we have to keep it hopeful and look forward and say, well, no, there's not a lot of numbers right now as athletes, but we keep growing each year, even though I know with the past 2 years we didn't play, but it's okay. I think it'll just give back the taste of it, and everyone will come back, like you said, Cam. So I think it's hopeful, and I think broomball is gonna be okay. Okay.
Perfect.
And let's hope it stays like that.
Don't just say okay. Let's
Here.
hope we're fantastic.
Well, right. And I mean, we got to get it fantastic in every province, not just,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's struggling. Like Alberta is trying their hardest. I know the neighbor to the west there, and we're trying hard in Saskatchewan. And our junior program seems to be flourishing quite a bit this year, but our senior program is not very good. So I don't know what's going to happen with that.
Well, it's with the COVID situation, we've lost a year and a half of recruiting power.
Yeah.
When everything basically just went dead for a year and a half, and it's hard to get a lot of people pick up different habits, and it's hard to get a lot of people back out. Like you said, Cam, there's a number of people that haven't played in 4 or 5 years. They went without, and maybe, okay, they've rejuvenated. Maybe it can work everywhere. Let's hope.
Yeah. Let's hope. Yeah.
Yeah. So Pascal, let's keep you talking here. What is your best broomball memory?
Oh, the great end question.
I have three. Can I say three?
No, you're
You can
limited
say,
to, you're limited to 2.5.
keep it under 10. God darn it.
She can have 3 or 4 if she wants, because I have more.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Pascal, I fully agree with you. Just go for it.
There's more than one, definitely.
I got into broomball because of coaching, because I think coaching is the major thing. You know, I think we need good coaches and good things, and that's how I went to CAC before being part of Broomball Canada, and we built out the BF Square thing, and then the BTC, and now the BTE. So one of my favorite, oh, you didn't see all this, but anyway, one of my favorite time was when the BTE was approved by CAC, which was the Comp Dev and level 3. We didn't have any of that before. That was the first. And they called me here and they said, Pascal, you're finally approved for the BTE and you could go on. And we now have one certified, fully certified coach BTE, but we'll have Chad soon, and Normand and Claudette this weekend, and Ian. So we have 5 BTE coaches being certified, fully certified BTE. I'm really, really proud of that. Second one, I told you earlier, I was really, really, really relieved when we were finally approved as a national DI performance program. That was a big, big deal for me. And the third one was when I can say that when Broomball Canada actually invited me to work with you guys. So.
Very sweet.
Awesome. You know, we had some great times at Montreal there at the military base. I tell you what, those BTs or something else.
I'd go there anytime. Just for the food.
Oh man, I'm telling you, it's fantastic.
Amazing. Yeah.
All right. So George, I wore this jersey, this Sting jersey. This is the old one. They retired these because I was trying to think back of when I first met you, or my first memory of you. And it wasn't a good memory, probably for both of us. I don't know if you remember, but it was just at the time of the rise of Twitter, and there was several teams going back and forth online. And I remember you having to sit down with each one of the teams to tell them to stay civil and stay off the internet. And I remember that very vividly. And that's when I first really met you, and you've grown on me ever since, and our relationship has gotten better since then. But it started off a bit rocky. There's been many memories that are better than that, but that was just the first one I thought I'd bring up. Let's go on to a better note. What are your best memories of broomball? And I'm sure you've got lost. It sounds like you have a list here. Is it under 10?
I have a few, but that was in 2012, Chad, by the way.
2012 with them and the Twitter thing. Yeah.
With the business, with the online crap and all that. And
yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, and I know I do, you were the all-star goalie that year.
The 2014 I was.
Was it 2014?
Yeah, I got my jersey upstairs.
Okay. And I remember the comment I had for you then, because I'm going to be honest here. I'm going to say you were still a little cocky back then. And when you did that, I congratulated you. And I said, it's a lot easier doing what you just did here than being cocky. So smarten up. You've come along. You've come a long way, and you said I've grown on you, and you and me. I have a lot of respect for you.
Oh, same to you as well. Thank you.
You're welcome. I had a lot of little milestones that I come up with, and my best memory, and I put it in, is it in 1974, the first Almont Broomball tournament. I had taken over the league in 73, and the first tournament we had was in 74. That tournament ran right through till 2020 when COVID, we got it in, and then COVID has shut us down. That was 47 years.
Wow, amazing.
And we had that 1-day tournament in the fall, and those tournaments used to be 3 days, and lots of fun, and busy, and we had the one in the fall got shut down in 2020, and that would have been our 45th. So, and that's just those two tournaments. So 74 was special because it was the first one. And or is it in 1994, and that's the first time that we hosted the provincials in Arnprior. And since then, we've had a half dozen more there, and some in Carleton Place, and Eastern Ontario is picking up a lot more with the Cornwall and such. So it's a great venue for that too. So that's still big. 210. Anybody remember the Goose Bay Nationals in 210?
Well, I mean, the ones that went to Ottawa?
That'd be the one, Chad.
That one.
Yeah, everybody was going to charter into Goose Bay, and the airline went belly up, and we had no means to get to Goose Bay. There was no other way to get in. That was 2 weeks prior to the event. We put it together in 2 weeks in Arnprior with the help of the recreation director there, Glenn Arthur. And we had, honestly, an amazing national. It was cut down in numbers because not everybody came, but we still had a national, and we felt it was very important that we had that, and we did, and that was special. Just the people that just got together and everybody pulled, and we got it done. It was special. Or is it the 2012 Worlds in the Ottawa Valley? And this is still regarded by many, if not most, as the best ever. At the conclusion of that night, I wore my hand out shaking hands to people, and the comment was best ever, best ever, best ever. All of the events we've tried to do over the years, we always installed one thing, and that was the wow factor. And I remember running a juvenile national in Carleton Place. I think I'm going to say 206, maybe 204. And Teresa Weaver was on the committee, and she brought that up, and she said, well, we have to have the wow factor. We have to have the wow factor. We walked into the banquet, and we had the all-star jerseys up in display, and it was surreal, because the first thing I said when I walked in was I went, wow, and then caught myself and said, that's the wow factor. And we've always put that in mind when we try to do something, and I think we've been successful, and broomball in general works with the wow factor. Anyway, that's 212. And a little more of a personal load is the 95 McMillan's ladies first elite provincial title. I coached those girls for 20 years, and I asked them, do you want to join the FBAO, the Ontario Broomball Association? And convinced that they were good, but they just played all the local tournaments and such, and there were a number of nationals for years. Alfred Sport was the big team. And so we had a meeting in 93, called it. They all sat around, we discussed it, we talked it. We handed out a sheet, a registration sheet. The girls all started signing it and looking at it. And one of the girls, Bev Clark was her name, she looked at it, she says, this here says we're going to be playing elite. And I said, well, yeah, elite will take you further. She says, we're all gonna die. That was her statement, we're all gonna die. But, and they went on, and then they won the provincial championships in 95. And then in 2001 in Calgary, they won the nationals. Like, I mean, that was just wasn't supposed to happen for a bunch of little farm girl kids, but it happened. Then I have another personal note. Maybe it was when 2004 I became BP Tech, and through that I met Pascal, and I think we've covered a lot of ground since then. But and I'm proud too of being part of developing the coaching program with Pascal. And we've had a lot of people, a lot of water under the bridge, but it was good. Loving it all the way. And this last note, and I'm sincere on it, perhaps it was presenting the juvenile CBF Coach of the Year to a gentleman who had been previously been suspended for a year. To see him bounce back and excel was so gratifying. That's one of the highlights of my career. And for me, this journey has been so rewarding. Thank you.
Wow, that was awesome, guys.
Thanks, George.
Lots of memories between the two of you there. So I'm sure everyone will be glad to hear those online. I was. That's awesome. I think that's all we have for you guys today, though.
Yeah, like,
I'm sure.
Thank you
I mean-
very much to both of you. This has been great. Thank you.
thank you guys.
Well,
Thanks for sharing the stories. Thanks for talking our ear off, Pascal, as always. It's always a pleasure to have to be able to chance to say, shh, so we can move on. That's awesome. But yeah, thank you so much for sharing everything, you guys, and thank you again for everything you guys do for Broomball.
Yeah.
Right? And I mean, without volunteers, and I mean, it's a volunteer job for most of us, and if without that, there's no way that we would be able to do what we do. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you to both of you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, you
All right.
guys.
All right.
Thanks for
Have a
watching.
good night, everyone.
Have a
Thank
good
Good night,
you.
good evening.
Yes.